Hello and welcome! Silrace here with Mechwarrior Online. And I have posted the first gameplay of my Enforcer. So it's only right that I decided to also post the first game I played in a Panther. I have since played more games with the Panther, but this one was the first one, and I have gotten more used to the chassis and whatnot, and especially you will see me miss PPC shots here, alright? Because I am not at all used to firing a PPC with a 40% increase to it, so I lead too much, frankly. And I haven't used PPC too much for a little while anyway, so there is that bit as well. So let me first talk a bit of the Panther in general as a chassis, and then I will, talk about some of the gameplay here in the background. You basically can see me doing the thing I imagined the Panther to do to begin with, right here at this moment, right?
New target.
So, Panther, well, I talked about it in my, pre-release thought video, where I basically said that because of the 250 engine cap, that means that if you smack in the biggest possible engine with a speed tweak, the Panther goes 127 kph, a little over that. And here I am running a standard 200 engine. I did some tweaking to the, normal stock loadout, such as adding obviously double heatsinks and endo steel and all that stuff, but I also changed the engine to standard 200. And that gives me, with a speed tweak, that gives me 101. So, when you compare those max speeds with the, 250 max engine size, to things like fire starters and generators and other things which can really chase and kill you off in a Panther pretty damn easily and effectively, all sorts of other things, it's, I just don't see the reason to put a big XL engine into this particular mech. Granted, if you put an XL engine, you save enough tonnage to put 2 ERPPCs in that arm and have nothing else, basically. But I have seen by now so many Panthers which did just that and then ended up losing the arm in the first 2 minutes of the game, and suddenly it is a fly which buzzes around other mechs' heads and works as nothing but distraction because it has nothing else. And that is something I wanted to avoid entirely with the Panther, because it's a light mech that the arm does not have a whole lot of armor, alright? So yeah, there is that bit. So there is a good example. There is a Panther which has lost its PPC arm, because that arm is kind of prominent on the Panther. It is a good, first target. Obviously that one had some missiles to follow it up, but yeah, if it didn't, then it would have been entirely useless Panther by that point. So I didn't also downgrade the Artemis from this particular variant. It comes stock with the Artemis, alright? So I just decided to keep it for the first few games, and then later on I decided to get rid of it and do other things. But the engine is a curious thing, because that's really going to decide between types of players and what you do. When I look at the Panther and the way I've been playing it, which has worked for me fairly well so far, is not looking at it as a solo scout thingamajig, because it simply does not have the speed. And when you do that sort of stuff, you obviously, you will have fire starters, generators, these sort of things come and challenge your scouting locations, and you frankly cannot deal with those mechs on your own. I feel this is more of a inner sphere Kit Fox. Without the EC, I'm sure it can mount an AMS, and I probably will start experimenting actually mounting the AMS, but as you can see, I'm basically part of my team for the most of this stuff. So yeah, I do fire supporting. That's what you can get away with an ERPPC and nice quirks for it, and a torso mounted missile hardpoints to go with the standard engine. That seems very workable for me. And as you can see, I've been doing this whole peeking around, shooting at things, and then, well, here we are kind of losing, so I kind of want to take some damage, essentially. It's like I pushed that summoner away from getting to the rear of the team, right? It's like the summoner was trying to come around. So I took some damage and the summoner pulled back so he didn't get to the rear of the rest of the team. So here I'm gonna try to get down here, out of the line of fire of the Banshee, like so. So he has to come down here to, well, fire at me, but yeah, of course at this point, spoiler warning, we are losing this game. As you can see, there's not much I can personally do about it with this particular setup and whatnot, being a Panther. If this was a mech I was already comfortable with, I would be a little more confident at this point, but not overly much when in a light mech. So I'm just doing what damage I can at this point and try to finish off some, well, damaged mechs and see if the situation could be salvaged anymore. But it really can't at this point, especially since we are losing even more people. So yeah, and there is an Atlas with too much health and so forth, all that stuff. Also overheating very fast, even with a single PPC, which is kind of annoying. Imagine the issues of running 2 ER PPCs, the overheating would be insane. So managed to keep the Atlas between me and the Nova, which is mostly beneficial, but I kind of have to, you know, break away from the Atlas to finally get shot by other things. So yeah, there is that. So yeah, as I said, we are losing this, and thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this gave you some of my thoughts on the Panther, right? Thank you very much for watching.